Welcome back, boys, to RMTS. Use code RMTS or Burles at G Fuel. Show them that we
Verlisify,
love
but
them. Yep,
you need to finish that off so you can wake up, it seems.
I do. I do. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Definitely asked for 9 o'clock because we couldn't record last night. It is one of those days where I'm just tired. But Burles, how you been doing, buddy? It
I'm starting to
is
think maybe we should be trailblazers and just stop titling RMTS altogether. Just make the podcast episode whatever it is.
well. That's exactly what Logan Paul does with
Damn it.
Impulsive.
I'm about to say, like, we're going to just go do it different because everyone just default brain off, like, one, two, three, four. It stops
No,
mattering at a point. We'll just put out episodes and call it what it is. You want to
no,
find
that
episode 56? Who cares?
honestly, I don't think that serializing them makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Obviously there's going to be things like, oh, they called this out in this episode and that stuff and stuff like that, but people are already going to be sharing it by the
Well, they
title
also go by
regardless.
the guest, where it's just like, yeah, that Joe Rogan episode with David Goggins. Which one? One of 20. Like that should be what's serialized. Like, yes, this is the third David Goggins. Who cares that it's Joe Rogan 692?
Exactly, the number at the end really kind of doesn't matter, especially as it grows.
Mm-hmm.
At some point you kind of want the big numbers like 100, 200, 300 and shit like that to be like meaningful, but 445 really doesn't fucking matter. The
Mm-hmm.
number really doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I think it's interesting because that's kind of what I looked at when I went through and I looked at all the metadata for like how people title things and how people do the descriptions and tags and everything else. And half these shows literally do not use any of it. They just like link their normal channel on the description and that's it. They don't do anything. And they just title it with whatever the hell they talked about. And that's it. It's just weird. It's like
Oh,
YouTube's lazy now.
yeah. I was trying to like I got in an argument with someone I now don't remember what it was, but it was a few weeks ago, and they were trying to like use something about how like, oh, these videos are underperforming. Not mine, but like some other space, and they were using that against me because it's like, see, this is a dead scene. Like they're not even tagging their videos, so of course they're not going to get any discovery kind of thing. So it's just and then like also that was what Casey Neistat did. He didn't put any metadata and then was like one of the largest channels. But sometimes you have to like have straight up great metadata or you don't get discovered anyways.
Yeah,
I
at
think
the
it's
beginning
once you hit the algorithm. Like once you
yeah.
get 5 million subscribers, then you can just turn off the metadata. But until then, you need it.
Yeah, but I think honestly that that's the exact way to kind of work with the titles and stuff like that. It makes it so much easier.
Hmm.
Like I helped them change the way that PKA titles everything, but everybody fucking hates it. So I understand. Like I understand the point of why somebody would hate that titling method, but it's like for search, that's what it should be. And it's just like, what do you want? Do you want the pretty title that looks like it, tells the entire story, or do you want the title that, makes the most sense? And it's just like the algorithm doesn't like sense.
Hmm. Yeah,
And if you want
that's
the
the
show
thing.
here,
The outlet. It's like it used to be click through rate was pretty good, and then like that just kind of showed like, oh, if you click on a video, it's clickbait, and you click off, you get 1 second retention. That's actually really bad now. And all these other things. It's just like nonsense. I remember when those Indian dudes that were like digging pools and shit,
yep.
they had no metadata. They had broken English, like amazing epic pool life build happy. And for some reason that the algorithm loves that nonsense, but not anything actually coherent.
The shitty thing is like I can completely understand why people are watching those. It's cool,
Hmm.
regardless of if you think it's real or not. It's interesting to watch somebody do this shit, even if they do the 5 seconds worth of the work on the camera and then, do it with a
Yeah.
backhoe afterwards. It doesn't matter because it's like brain dead content that you're just chilling there watching, and it's cool to watch somebody do something. So I understand why it's watched. I don't understand why it's watched the first 1,000 shares. How did it get those first 1,000 shares? Because that's
Oh, that's just
literally
botting.
all of it.
Especially if it's like an Indian content mill, it's all fake. It's all botted.
But once they get those first 1,000 views and 1,000 shares, and that's seen by then 3,000 people, and then is watched, that it's like literally the one thing I haven't done at all is fucking bot. And it's like if you
Mhm.
bot to 1,000 views, all of a sudden it fucking works. And it's like,
Well,
what
that's
the fuck is
because
it?
YouTube just shits itself when it's like this piece of video is like the greatest content ever made because 1,000 people watched all the way through, commented and leave a like. We need to put this on the homepage of every single person ever because every person that's ever watched this video thinks it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. So that's like why that manipulation works so well.
I do want to say, I think we found some sort of break in the meta, which is nice. We're back to 60,000 views a month on 2 channels. Fuck yeah, we're back, boys. That feels fantastic. Now just let's get the big show to grow again because that would be fucking awesome. Obviously, I've been exhausted and everything's been absolutely crazy. So I apologize that everything hasn't been as consistent as it should be. But shit's happening. So I need to kind of focus where I need to focus things. So I apologize. But thank you guys because it's cool to watch the numbers grow back up after,
Things are so broken. I don't care about anything.
yeah.
It's like we're effectively just like a globalized commie hellhole where it's all just Indian botted content and fake AI slop and nothing matters and Google doesn't give a fuck.
Well, the shitty thing is like, even if we sit here and, have a business meeting after this and we sit here and talk for like 2, 3 hours on how to fucking fix everything. Number one, it's not guaranteed to work. Number two, even if it did work, the second that somebody doesn't agree with our episode and it's posted on 4chan or it's posted on the
Mm-hmm.
PK subreddit and I get shit on there or whatever, like it's down in the dumps again. It's just a fucking cycle. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't like us today? And it's just like, guys, the dislike button is not for disagreeing with the content. The dislike button is for shitty content.
Yeah, it's about quality, not your opinion, man.
Your opinion goes in the comments. Absolutely, let's have a conversation regardless. Like me and Verlis had that conversation at the beginning when he fully joined. He's like, I don't want to deal with haters. Like, absolutely, but we're going to let them comment and shit on them when they comment. And he's like, okay, let's delete these few people then. It's like, yes, I agree then. That's okay. We delete 5 people. That's a hell of a lot better than fucking thousands. And let's actually have a conversation and shit on people because that's fun. So I guess shit happened last night while you were awake because I guess you're posting on Twitter at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning this morning. But what the hell happened? Because I
I
saw
don't
like a
know.
few headlines.
Yeah, I
Okay.
well that's the thing, like I just kind of like saw it and then I couldn't
Okay.
find like a lot of super duper hard stories about it. I'm just like, "Oh, some I guess we have to like look it up.
Yeah, I'll find it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Israel's trending. That's probably going to help
Yeah.
guide us into what actually happened.
Okay,
Uh,
I got it. So a DC embassy was pew pewed up last night, and 2 Israeli staffers were killed.
two. I only
They
heard one, so that's what I mean. Like the story just
yep.
breaks and goes so
They've
crazy.
already released their names, which is kind of interesting. And they were fatally shot near the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. The suspected shooter is this dude. I'm not going to say his name because they don't deserve the
Hmm.
notoriety and everything else. And has been identified. The incident is under investigation by multiple political figures, including the U.S. president, local officials, and have condemned the act as anti Semitic violence. The big thing that I saw was they were murdered in the name of Palestine,
Yeah,
and the dude was screaming "Free Palestine" as he was doing it, and everything else.
of course. Like there's no other way to interpret killing Jewish ambassadors outside of a Jewish museum, especially in today's political climate. Wow, more
Oh
leftist
my
terrorism.
god! So I'm not going to share this picture. I know
Hmm.
you guys are probably going to be able to find this regardless, but this dude is a fucking psychopath. This dude's a fucking psychopath.
All right.
I posted it in our chat. He literally just sat there after shooting the
Hmm.
place up and just stared at the door, just waiting.
That's because he wants his side to see him as a hero.
Like,
Like, yeah,
so
exactly. Because it's not about doing like some righteous act and getting away with it. It's about doing it for the attention. That if he wants the praise, he knows that the left is going to love him and immortalize him now because it's all about free Palestine. So he wants that attention. That's why he did it.
and that's the shitty part is like I don't fucking like this. And I'll talk about this fucking
Hmm.
post because I can see where that point is coming from too. And like this is why I struggled with talking about Luigi Mangione the way that we did. Is
Hmm.
like I could understand the moral argument and I could understand the real life argument. But the thing is those two things are not connected in murder cases. Those two things cannot be connected in most situations. There's very few where those like the moral high ground or the moral
Hmm.
logic basis is not always going to connect with a trial of any kind like this. And
Well,
it's
that's
like
why.
now
Oh.
we martyred him
Hmm.
And now we have repeats.
Yeah, well, that all of this was entirely predictable, and that's also why calling people Hitler or Nazis is bad because you're saying like, oh yeah, if you had the opportunity, you would kill baby Hitler. You have to stop it. You are the one. You're the one that needs to carry out this act against the people you don't like. And that's all they hear. That's all they're like conditioned to do. That's why we have assassination attempts on the president, and then everything else. It just all makes sense. It's like, yeah, Luigi is now the hero of Reddit. Everyone says like, oh, this guy needs to be Luigi'd, and then someone that has no purpose, no value, that gets sucked up into this, they're just kind of like, I'm with the Palestine movement. No one knows who or cares about who I am. I gotta do this now.
This is where that conversation I think that we had with Woody, it might have been just me, I'm not positive if we had it
Mm-hmm.
on the show or not, is like people don't want to see others as humans. They see them as just something that's disconnected and floating and just, oh, you're a bad guy, so obviously your humanity doesn't fucking matter.
No, I don't think this is a dehumanizing thing. Like
Not
in
this, not
yeah,
this thing. I'm
okay,
saying the martyrism of like what happened with Luigi kind of dehumanized people that people don't agree with. We've seen it in politics for the past couple years now. And since Obama was in office, it is always, oh, that's not a human. Oh, he's a piece of shit. Oh, he's Hitler. Oh, he's a Nazi. Oh, he's a PDF. There's like so many things that everybody wants to label everybody as, and just say that their thoughts or their idea, yeah, their ideas are completely invaluable. And it's like, guys, no, everybody's thoughts and
mm-hmm.
ideas are valuable in some way. Like, and it sucks because it's like these people that do these crazy, horrible things, if they just saw the fact that it's a person on the other side, maybe they wouldn't do it.
Yep. No, actually, no, I wouldn't say they wouldn't do it on that because like that's how everyone has always acted throughout the entire history of everything. That I guess like to a degree I wouldn't say it's like social media or any of this riling up, but like Palestinians do not see Israelis as human, and that's why there's so much conflict and civil war and everything going on in the Middle East. But it's
Oh,
not
absolutely.
because of
I
like
don't disagree at
but
all.
it's not because of like some warping dehumanization. We've just always had that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm saying that people not seeing other people as humans because they have a different ideology or a different political view or whatever, it makes it so way it's fucking tribalism again. It brings it back to like when we were fucking Indians and hanging
Hmm.
out and throwing fucking arrows at each other and everything else. Oh, you don't fucking matter because you say you're this instead of that.
Well,
And
also no,
it's
it's like
just
you
like,
have the watering hole. We need the watering hole, so you don't matter. Your needs and desires do not matter in this world.
you
If
see
I
it in
overpower you, it's mine.
you see it in war, you see it in gang fights, you see it in court case. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
all just dehumanizing shit. When as a whole, a lot of the time, a lot of people were in those people's shoes. They could understand that human if they just looked at them as a human. It's just the crazy extremist things that, put them into a place where they're not when they're by themselves. So this dude, I have no idea if this is a troll account or not. So I'm going to lead off with that. But it's a media account. So who the fuck knows? Um, the world is turning on Israel, which I guess, 50% of the world has. I get that. The media is turning on Israel. 50% again. Politicians were turning on Israel. Yeah, the left is gone. Everyone was racing to be on the record as being against Israel. I don't see it as that.
Yeah, I don't.
Then,
I'm like, wait, I'd never felt that or saw that or acknowledged that. It's not happening.
yeah, I don't either. And then this dude is calling this as a false flag, and it's all labeled as anti-Semitism. Genius. I am very quick to point out things as being fake. I'm very quick to point out things as, there might be some sort of fucking conspiracy here. This doesn't seem like it. Number one, if this was a conspiracy, it would be somebody big like Luigi being able to kill, a leader of a fucking health group in the middle of New York City in the middle of the night, and it's all recorded. This is in the middle of DC, two people that are staffers that have absolutely like no name recognition in most circles. Like this isn't something that is just, a false flag. This isn't a
Hmm.
psyop.
Yeah.
This isn't something like that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't see how there could even be any conspiracy with Luigi because that was like all of New York in the '80s was just if you walk down the wrong street at the wrong time, you're just shot. I mean,
And
that's
that,
Batman's story. It's such a common occurrence. That's like, yeah, you could
oh,
actually be a someone.
absolutely.
You could be a wealthy person, and any no-name thug can just kill you at any point. And that's New York. That's just what it is.
Well, that's what being a human is. In all honesty,
Yeah, you are that vulnerable.
somebody
Like,
could,
unless you are just like security detailed to the gills, if you're walking out of a subway, anyone can take their opportunity at you, no matter who you are.
that's the wish. That's the thing I wish that people would fully grasp and understand is like all of us have the same vulnerability. It's
Yeah.
not just like some rich dude who, makes billions of dollars a year. It's
Hmm.
not just some dude that's off the street
Yeah,
that's
money
homeless that
doesn't
doesn't have a
stop a
home.
bullet.
Like we're all vulnerable to this shit. And the more that this shit happens, the more that,
Hmm. I mean,
school problems
you
happen
just
or
keep
mass
going back.
shootings
It's like
happen.
our president just wanted to watch a show at a theater, and that was a vulnerability.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like the more that these things happen and the more that these things are politicized, the more likely they are to happen because of things like Luigi, where
Well,
he's
copycats always happen.
becoming a
Like
martyr.
when we'll just see like a string of school happenings because it's just like, oh, that person just gets on the news and their face is everywhere. And now it's talked about, and they talk about the methods. And oh yeah, the police won't stop you. By the way, they'll sit outside for 50 minutes. You're going to get away free. Oh, look at that! They are walking the dude out of the building because he didn't get taken down. You can do whatever you want, surrender and walk away, and then media tells you that and radicalizes while you're being radicalized that everyone's the enemy. Wonder what happens.
It feels like that radicalization is the way that everybody is controlled, almost. And like we see that with things like 9/11. How quick was everybody like, oh, this is a faith problem. The most religious president we've ever had, being George W. Bush, supposedly, all of a sudden just pointed the finger at Islam and being like, oh, this entire problem's that, when it wasn't. It was just an extremist problem that we funded and showed how to do everything. It's just like it's weird. It's weird because this shit just fucking is like ear cancer that everybody fucking gets. And the louder that all of these voices are kind of enabled, it makes it worse. But at the same time, the only way to kind of fix this shit is to actually, you know, be completely transparent and honest with everything. And being completely transparent and honest with everything makes the world fucking burn. And it sucks because it's just smearing shit in everybody's fucking face.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird to me. It's fucking weird. So it's crazy because like, for how many years were we told that Biden was like the peak level of fucking health?
The
We
entire
were
time.
told, yeah, like, oh, he's completely with it. He's completely coherent. Everything's okay, guys. You're just going crazy.
Trump's the
I
one
mean,
that has problems.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
But no, they're just like Trump's the senile one, as Biden is just
Yeah.
like having gaffes every 3 sentences.
But like logically, I don't want them to come out and say, hey, we have a big problem with our leader.
Well, that's the thing that makes the
You
most
don't
sense.
want that.
Yeah, you can't do that,
Like, unless you're removing him,
especially
which I
when there's two
completely
wars
understand.
going on.
But like, if somebody is incapable, regardless of if that is Trump or Biden or whatever, they should have the availability to step down and not be this big negative thing on them. If they say, "Hey, I physically cannot do this. I have fucking cancer."
Hmm.
Step down and stop being looked at like a piece of shit. Because honestly, if he stepped down in 2022 when he came out saying that he had cancer and it was called a gaffe and everything else, it was 2022 or 2023. I believe it was 2022. Doesn't his legacy look a hell of a lot better?
Hmm.
It may not look, as bad with there being so many cover-ups. It may not look as bad with everything being this fucking obscured, fucking massive, crazy problem. What happens then? And you know what? Being so against Biden and saying that he wasn't there mentally for the past fucking year and a half, 2 years. These people that are going out and saying that they're glad that he got cancer is fucking disgusting.
Hmm. I'm trying to look up how the 25th Amendment works because, like, when the vice president becomes the president and a step down, how long is their term at that point? I don't think they get the rest of the 4 years.
They get the rest of the term.
Really?
Yep, I'll get it for you. Just
Hmm. Well, that was mine. I was just kind of like looking into that because is it just like, is it an extra year? Is it 2 years? Is it the entirety? Because if there's any shortening of that term, then that's also like bad for Democrats. They need all that power as long as they can get to just fuck shit up.
but okay, so this is personally why
Hmm.
I feel like we should go back to the same exact fucking situation that we had when, the entire country started. It's not, this president versus this president and the vice presidents are chosen by the people and the parties and everything else. It should be the second person and they should have to agree on things. It should be president is the number one vote, vice president is number two vote. Fuck you. These two oligarchs that we essentially have, being the Democrat Party and the fucking Republican Party, is getting fucking disgusting at some point. Okay, so let me enter, and I will. Oh,
Yeah.
I copied
Other than
it.
that, I don't really
When
have much else to say about it because it's just like, yeah, he probably had it the entire time, especially with how progressed it is and the rest of his like other failings in health.
Okay, so the 25th Amendment to the Constitution deals with presidential succession and disability. What happens to the president? It's what happened if the president dies, resigns, or is removed, or becomes unable to perform the duties of the office. It was ratified in 67 following the assassination of JFK. So if the president dies, resigns, or is removed from office, the vice president becomes president for the rest of the term.
Hmm.
If the vice president becomes vacant, the president nominates a new VP who takes office after confirmation by both a majority of the House and the Congress, which is what happened with Spiro Agnew resigning and Nixon appointing Gerald Ford, and then Gerald Ford becomes president and appoints Rockefeller as VP. See,
I'm trying to think about like how it's interesting that hasn't been strategically used by any party to actually have like the really weird vice president that they want in because that almost felt like Trump's term where it's just like, oh, uh his vice president, I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't even
Pence.
remember 2016.
Pence.
Pence, yeah. Like Pence was like the most neocon ever, so it's just like, oh, you actually cannot take out Trump because you will get a far worse replacement. It felt like insurance more than anything. But I'm kind of surprised that like no party has ever just elected someone like a Biden that is clearly unfit, and after like 6 months just kind of goes, oh, he resigns, you now get 3.5 years of Kamala. Like that they would just do some backdoor shenanigans.
That's why I think the other party should have the vice presidency makes sense to me,
Hmm.
and then have the third. Okay, so this would be a restructuring,
But
and
then that also
just be,
creates like an impeachment issue where like, oh, we impeached that to get
nope,
our guy now president.
I agree. This is where the third person comes in because that would be the protection against that. Is you have to have three parties to do this. It has to be the Democrats, the Republicans, and then the centrists or whatever, or even the fucking not the Labor Party, but the fucking the anti-establishment people, the people that are like, no, fuck all of this. We want no government intervention in anything. So it should be like you have the president, which is the number one vote getter. Number two vote getter is the vice president, and the number three guy is the Speaker of the House or the person that kind of presides
That
over
sounds
the.
horrible too.
Oh, it might be absolutely fucked, and this is completely off the top of my head,
Because I
but
mean,
it's
yeah, because that
also
means
how
like
they
the
kind
bottom
of.
of the barrel gets power. Where like, what if no one won? What if they just got 1% of the vote and that by default they're just in?
Do we really think that if we added a third party right now, like a legitimate third party, not just try and build one, but
Hmm.
we built in, say, Trump and fucking Bernie actually were the ticket in 2016, and Trump was voted out of the Republican Party, and they go as an independent because that's what the talk was.
Hmm.
There were talks about both of them running as independents, and if that was the ticket in 2016, I don't think that loses.
Well, I'm thinking like
But
the Reform Party still did good, but if it like the Reform Party would do way worse now than it did back in the 90s, so it would be like a 5% kind of thing.
But even if it cuts out 10% on each side, and they get like 15% total. And like you have 2 to 5% of the voter base not decide to vote because they're kind of confused and they want to see what happens. Logically, you have people trying to actually agree on things. We need to stop with this fucking whole charade that everything's a fucking big problem. Let's actually have people that want to work on things and kind of come to the middle and fucking fix this shit instead of making it a fucking parade that every day that we have this big ass fucking problem again. It's not okay. And at some point, we kind of have to condense what the fuck we have. And that's what Doge was supposed to be. Let's make these things less complicated.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the biggest problem is bureaucracy and not the two-party system or anything.
Well, I think that,
That shit used to just work, and now it can't.
well, it doesn't work because of the drastic politicization and polarization of both parties.
I think that's still less of a problem than bureaucracy.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. All of the red tape and these big, crazy, in depth problems are obviously the bigger issue. I completely agree. I'm just saying that the polarization of both sides make it so that way everybody is fighting instead of looking at the center and trying to figure out where the answer is. Once again, we're still not looking at each other as human. We're looking at each other as, oh, this far left or far right extremist who's a piece of shit and will have this problem. We're doing the same exact thing that we did in 9/11 or in World War II. You know what I'm saying? We're painting somebody, people that live in our country, as the enemy.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
if
like
you
we
don't,
don't have to.
and they are the enemy, you have problems because we just saw the left kill two people that represent a different country.
Oh, I
We saw
completely.
with the George Floyd riots, they burned down cities. So they kind of have to become the other at that point when they are doing bad shit, and that is like how radicalized a lot of the party has become.
But when they are that radicalized, those people should be excised from fucking society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not like posterized and shown as like this big and crazy, amazing fucking thing.
But then, well, they're not allowed to because then that makes us the fascists for taking out their crazies.
And that's like I think both of our entire point is like if we look at the right and we're like, hey, these people are legitimate Nazis. Fuck them. We don't want them to be a part of us. We can do this without you, and we cannot do it with you. But all these blue-haired fucks on the left side, can we please get rid of them too?
I
You know what
mean,
I'm
your
saying?
terms are acceptable, but theirs aren't because
Exactly.
that's their entire thing now.
Exactly. So when there's somebody in the center like me or you that's being called a fucking Nazi, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not in the center.
You're
I'm center right. I'm
oh, I
I'm I'm
know, I
like
am too.
2.3 over.
I'm just saying that I'm not far right authoritarian bullshit. Like
Hmm.
I'm not at all in any circumstance. I would love to take a political fucking compass test, and maybe that'll be an episode at some point because I think that might be interesting. But like, it's just like you can't fucking call people in the center on either side fucking Nazis or fascists because they're not. They don't want to control everything that you do. They just want some sort of fucking consistency so that way there's not chaos. And it's just like words should not be the point where we're sitting here having a problem. That should be the consistent thing. We use words to explain things, not just, this crazy level of let's change everything. So did you hear who the savior of the left supposedly is?
Yeah, it's Hasan because they're trying to make him the Joe Rogan of the left. Like the push that they have had for like the last year almost, or at least 6 months, has just been unreal.
Yes. Did you see the Daily Mail clip or whatever? It was one of the night shows that had him on.
No,
And they went to his stream and they were just so disconnected from what like Gen Millennial and Gen Z are that I'm so confused with how much they don't understand.
I mean one of those night shows did Skibidi Biden, so it's
But
over.
this TV host legitimately looked like he was like 35. So like you should understand what Twitch is. He's like, so what is a Twitch? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can you even use proper English? What is a Twitch? And it's like saying, what is a Pokemon? At some point, it's
I mean,
it's
what is a
big enough to the
Pokemon
point.
makes more sense.
And no, Pokemon, because they
That still
all
makes more
say, what is a
sense.
Pikachu? They always say everything's a Pikachu. Everything's, this.
Well, I mean, Twitch isn't like an individual disassemblable thing, so like that's even worse. It's like
Absolutely.
saying what is a Twitter? What is a YouTube's? That's horrible.
YouTube's makes more sense than Twitter because Twitter is actually still appropriate and used correctly in the sentence. And it seems like when they don't understand it, they never use it correctly. It's always fucked up. But it's so weird watching these people be so like disconnected from the way the world works now. And
Yeah.
they're supposed to be the people that are guiding, the in betweens that don't fucking get it. And it's like, oh yeah, the the title on the New York Times was the the body that's like MAGA, but the mind that's like the left. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, what the fuck is wrong with
How do
people?
you do, fellow kids?
Exactly. It's like dudes walking around with fucking skateboards trying to find weed on a fucking college campus. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't understand. I don't get it. It's like this dude who just sits here and says that everything is fucking cancer and everything is fucking terrorism and everything is a fucking problem should be the savior of the left. Where the fuck does that come from?
Desperation?
What's funny is, have you seen the clips of him that absolutely sound like Andrew Tate?
No. But either way, I'm just like the only thing the left has is like a really popular commie. That's where it gets very bad and desperate.
Yeah. And I don't get where, this entire ideology is like, oh my God, this person. It's like, guys, if we're just looking at one person, last time one person led a country is, North Korea. And last time I checked, they shot, you know, 18 on a golf course because they can't be questioned anymore. Can
Hmm.
we stop idolizing fucking everybody? It's not okay. Like, I even tell my kids, don't fucking idolize me. Like, if you want to look at me and be like, hey, this is a compass for where I need to go and what I need to do, go ahead. But like, don't look at me as like this fucking God because that's not fucking okay at all. It's just not. And I think it's really funny that people just like buy into these characters like this. Like Hassan Piker is nothing more than fucking glorified Hamas fucking Superman. That's what he is. He's just like, this is what I am now. Guys, support me. Meanwhile, he can do fucking nothing. He can get you banned on fucking Twitter because he whines and complains enough. And I don't get it. Trump shouldn't be that for the right. Hassan shouldn't be that for the left. Tate shouldn't be that for the right. Like putting these people in savior fucking places makes no fucking sense to me. Because honestly, the only way the world is saved is by fucking logic. So if you want to fucking parade somebody around as an answer to the masses right now, it's fucking Jordan Peterson. How about you go clean your fucking room, you dipshits? Just don't get it, man. This world is making less and less sense, and it makes me want to bash my fucking head into a wall.
Oh yeah, I'm just sitting. I keep dropping black pills every episode as I realize like the world's getting crazier and crazier. I think the problem is we are going like towards that communism totalitarianism route, and it's more like this techno communism where all the algorithms are just demoralizing us and dehumanizing us and turning us all into NPCs. And see, the thing is, we've experienced freedom. China and North Korea, they've never experienced freedom. So that's like, this is just their daily life, and they have no awareness of it being wrong. We actually know this is wrong, and that's why it feels so bad.
Well, I think that that's where a lot of these people, especially where the left is coming from, where they're saying, "Oh my God, all these billionaires are bad," because they're not seeing the people that are below them as human. I think a lot of these leaders, regardless of if they're on the left or the right, are slowly starting to see us as just a voter base, not an individualized human. Where
Hmm.
I can completely understand where they don't see us as individualized humans. That is fucking mind fuck level shit.
Well, the
Oh, I
problematic
lead
thing,
this many people.
yeah. Well, the problematic thing is the left actually doesn't condemn billionaires because they help their causes. That Bill Gates has the environmentalism, and then George Soros has all of their political interests and activism. So they don't say billionaires are bad. It used to be like, oh, well, those oil tycoons are the worst, and they are holding all the money and all these corporations. But it's like, no, the more evil billionaires are your side. When isn't something like 80% of billionaires are Democrats or donate to Democrat causes, and then we have DEI screwing everyone over. So it's like, yeah, if you actually had morals and were against billionaires, maybe we wouldn't have so many problems. But you actually just suck up to them because they help you out. They
So
they lie
fun fact,
about being in your favor.
On Tuesday night, PKN was talking about the Clinton Foundation. So I did a little bit of research while they were talking and bullshitting back and forth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They never used it, so I'll use it. In 2012, on this website that I found, obviously, I'm only as good as the stats tell me. But the Clinton Foundation donated to both sides in a race Hillary Clinton was in 2012 and 2016. And I was like, wait, what? They were donating to Republicans as well, at like a tenth of what they were to Democrats. But I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious that they were openly donating to just both sides. They donated to Mitt Romney against fucking Obama. And it's just like, why is this not transparent? Why is it not?
I'm trying to figure out the why behind that. There has to be some malice. There has to be some bad intent as to why they're doing that.
Or is
It's
it
too
just the
evil for
reason?
me to think about.
Or, the sarcasm of it. It's a very, very, very straightforward answer.
It's just a
And it's the
uniparty.
reason why, which is the reason why a lot of people will say that, we're not ready for a woman to lead. Vindictiveness. We already know Hillary Clinton's, you
Hmm.
know, attempted to have people offed. We have Jeffrey Epstein, who's gone, lists that have not been released because Hillary Clinton is a part of them. Did she just get bitter and say, fuck it, I'm going to donate $2,500 to fucking Mitt Romney because Obama beat me?
I think it's just all the swamp. That's it.
I don't know. Like, the fact that there's not dates on it, obviously, it makes it a little harder to be like, okay, obviously he was in the lead, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Or does the same situations happen because Mitt Romney's in the presidency instead of Obama? Is it the same fucking shit? Is that the answer? Is it all just a fucking slush fund and, they just have fun because they can control it? Which is the same answer, I guess, all of our grandparents have been telling us. The crazy
Hmm.
uncle that, crazy Uncle Joe down the street that wears a tinfoil hat always, it's always the same shit. Oh, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's all fucking behind the scenes anyway. I guess the answer really is that, but god damn it, I didn't think it was that simple.
I mean, it is that simple. And then also going back to like the whole demoralization and the left not making any sense. That like every 2 weeks now or so that like someone's moving out of the neighborhood and a migrant's moving in and I'm just watching the neighborhood go to crap. The strangest thing happened last week that I was just out and about and it looked like a car dealership outside. That there was brand new cars, like a dozen of them, all temporary plates, all like I don't know how to say it. Like it was all Muslims, and they were going to the one house and just partying it up. And I'm just like, how is any of this even possible? And it was just one of the strangest things. It's like, how do you know they're Muslim? It's because all the women had burqas on, and all the dudes looked like Middle Easterners, and went to the Pakistani house that has like, and that's another thing. This house has 4 families living in it. I thought HOA was supposed to mean something. They tore down their fence so they could park more cars for Uber inside of their yard. And then they host a party where when every person that shows up has a brand new $30,000 car with temporary plates, and that's the neighborhood now because all the white people have moved out in Seattle. What are we supposed to do?
I'm not surprised. Let me just say that first.
And I'm not allowed to say these things, even though this is like really what's happening. And we saw this happen with Springfield, Ohio.
It's shitty because we're seeing so many things go on right now. We're seeing
Also, the
fucking.
houses out here are 800,000. So tell me how migrants affording that.
I don't think they are.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
BlackRock buys it up and then they rent it out to some kind of housing program.
But like
And then they
as a
get a
whole,
tax
it's
write
like,
off.
so even if that's how it worked, right?
Hmm.
You know, a company buys all of these houses and then they're allowed to rent them out to everybody that's around and everything else. Why import people to rent them out? If you're getting government subsidy anyway, the people that are homeless should be the people that are able to get the largest government subsidy. Honestly,
Hmm.
the non mentally ill, homeless people that are down on their luck, that are incapable of finding something because it's just slightly out of their price range, should be the people that are helped first. Honestly, why do we have to import people when we have this bad of a problem going on right now everywhere?
It's just buying votes. It's importing votes. That's why Obama just opened up the borders and said, go wherever you want. Hopefully it's a red state. We'll move you there. They dropped
And it's
10,000
shitty.
people off in Ohio. I wonder what the point is for that one.
And and it's shitty because like if they were more transparent with it and they're like, hey, like the shit that's going on in South Africa right now,
Hmm.
where they're literally trying to off people because of the color of their skin, regardless of which
Hmm.
side. You know what I'm saying? Like if that was happening in Atlanta against the opposite side, I would be completely against it as well. Like I don't understand why everybody wants to just be like, okay, this is wrong. No, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. Don't fucking pick and choose. Women in Saudi Arabia not being able to drive or be, a human is also wrong.
Hmm.
Like let's just play let's
Well,
point
the funny thing
all
is,
of it
it's
as
also you
wrong.
can tell how like the left is fucking sprinting it further and further to the left and getting more and more extreme. Because I'll make concessions with my lifelong Democrat fans, where it's or not fans, friends, where I'm like, you know what? I'll admit that a decade ago, when I said I don't care about homeless people at all, and that like you should pull yourself up by the bootstraps, I was wrong. All this money that's going to the immigrants should be going to the homeless people and setting them up. That we should take care of all the struggling people in our country. And now I'm in the wrong for that belief to them because they are so radicalized that they
Like
hate like they've moved like I've chased them to the left and they've gone further to where I'm just like, actually yes, please, let's actually do something about the citizens of this country. And now they're just like, nope, we need illegals to burn everything down.
I don't understand why they see more humanity in somebody escaping something than something that we've put people into.
That's the moral allocation. That the further like detached they are, the more the left loves them for some reason. They hate the people in their communities and their societies.
Like, and we see that with Frogan in this short that I saw the other day. Like now people are attacking the fucking military
Hmm.
because they don't agree with what the government tells the military to do. It's like, okay, I could completely understand that you could have an argument, a moral argument against what we have the military do, but the people that are doing it as their job shouldn't be the people that are shit on because you disagree with what the government is telling them to do. I saw this short the other day where this old lady, she was probably like 65 or so, so still getting the, discounted rates on pretty much everything, was saying that she didn't understand why veterans and people that were in service now are getting 10% discounts when they go to O'Reilly's and fucking Applebee's and everything else. She doesn't think that it should go to them at all. They live on the government
She's
dollar
just
anyway.
evil. Like
And it's just like, I
she's just
don't
evil with
understand
Hassan.
what your fucking problem is, lady.
Hmm. You hate
Like Frogan, you
America.
you
That's it.
proved the point
Yeah.
anyway.
You hate America and you hate heroes. Congratulations. You want the takeover of other countries and populations.
It's like
We
even
know
if you
this.
disagree with what we're doing in the military completely, like Frogan's fucking comment about fucking PTSD was fucking disgusting.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, her chubby little fucking cheeks are all over fucking Twitch and making everybody fucking happy. It's okay,
They
guys.
found the female Hassan. That's the only thing that can keep the platform going now.
But honestly, when they deplatformed Milo off YouTube, it opened a power vacuum for all of these, righties to fucking be able to speak and stuff like that. Steven Crowder doesn't grow. Jordan Peterson doesn't grow the way he does. Tate doesn't grow the way he does. If Milo isn't removed off of fucking YouTube and Twitter, that's the power vacuum that started it.
I don't think it was power vacuum. I think it was also like awareness because now that's a retaliation thing. We're just
Oh,
like, oh,
absolutely.
yeah, now we actually have to support these people and make them to where they can't be canceled. Because he was the first one. He got canceled and went to oblivion, and then that caused him to lose his mind because he lost everything and it wasn't his fault. So after that, it's like, okay, we can't have let this happen to anyone else. And then as it happens more and more people, it's like, okay, then we will keep supporting these people more and more because they must be doing the right thing if you're so terrified of them. They have to be saying something correct.
The shitty thing is I wish that they didn't have fucking god complexes. Both Frogan and Hassan. Fuck you both. First off. Second off, why the fuck do you have a god complex? Like everything that you say and do is fucking perfect and correct. Because it's fucking not.
Because they got power. That's what happens to everyone that has power. It multiplies the evil in their heart.
Like I saw this fucking debate about not Hassan, Hamas and Israel. And it was with Charlie Kirk and somebody else in like a town hall forum, actually. It was kind of nice. It wasn't one of those change my mind things. It was
Hmm.
actually them debating back and forth. And this dude's like, stop killing children, stop killing women, stop killing, people that are innocent in this. And Charlie's like, yes. Does anybody speak about the people in World War II in Germany or in France that were absolutely killed by bombs and gas and everything else because we destroyed entire fucking countries? No, we don't. And all of those deaths are sad.
Hmm.
It's like, yes, that's the exact answer. All of those deaths are sad. It's war. But Hamas is going against the Geneva Convention by using places of worship and places of healing and everything else as home bases as a way to build their fucking movement. And it's like,
Hmm.
guys, they're just fighting for the sympathy vote. Are you too stupid to realize it?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of when it's like, okay, church, give up all the terrorists that we know are inside of there, and if they don't, our hands are tied here.
And it's like, I don't think anybody wants war other than the people that benefit from it. Like,
Yeah.
there's people that make money from it. Hassan, you probably make more money off of war than most people do in this country. Most people that work in the military, you probably,
He
make at
is the
least five or
1%, and it's off of the suffering of others. If there was no suffering, he would have nothing to complain about.
but it's like he probably makes four or five, military wages. You're
Oh,
making
way
what
more than that. He's
five or
making millions a year.
I'm just, rough
Hmm.
estimate of just ad rev. Just ad
Exactly.
rev. You're making five or six fucking military soldiers worth of money. If you're talking about sponsorships or, your subscriber deal and you're making 90-10 on those subscribers, you're probably bringing home at least 5 or 6 million. So
Yeah.
you're taking full divisions out now, buddy. Who's the bad guy here? Why are you the baddies and saying we're not the
Oh,
baddies?
Bernie's saying, the millionaires and billionaires are bad, and then he became a millionaire, so now it's only the billionaires that are bad.
I don't know. It's hell, and I don't genuinely
Mhm.
understand it.
Also,
So
I want to
and
make another point about like the demoralization with like the neighborhood and stuff. Is that like there's more poop than I've ever seen before on the sidewalks. Now that I like walk my dog, in just a year, it's gone from a clean neighborhood to just bags. Like it also only takes a couple of people. Like one person just refusing to pick up poop snowballs into someone else that goes, I forgot my bags. I'm not going to come back with my bags to get this now because that person didn't clean up theirs. And then like now, just no one's cleaning up their poop anymore, and it coincides with like the people that were here leaving. Prices aren't going down because BlackRock will just buy a house at whatever value you ask for, and all of these other things to where it's just like, okay, so yeah, that's going bad. But one of the like immigrant ladies that was in front of me, like she was walking her dog, I watched her put it into the bag it, pick it up, and then drop it into the storm drain. And I was just like, this is not assimilation. None of this is working. What am I supposed to? How am I supposed to feel if this
I've
is my
seen
life?
fucking idiots literally bag it up in a paper bag or a plastic bag and then just let it sit there on the fucking sidewalk.
Oh, like I said, there's just bags lining the sidewalk now.
Yeah,
If it's not just the straight up poop, but then like this next level one, I'm like, it says on the storm drain drains into the river. The river is 3 blocks away. And then how am I supposed to care about environmentalism when the left wants these people here, and then no matter how many plastic bags I don't use this year, that is all offset by that one action of tainting the river with dog poop and plastic.
well, it's showing exactly what they don't want to show next to the Taj Mahal. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so many shows and so many things that show exactly that. How dirty are these people really? And not saying them specifically, but their choice and their actions are fucking gross.
Yeah. And
Like
another crazy
honestly,
thing is, okay, at any given time now, at least one house permanently has a smoke alarm beep. The record's four.
fucking hell. And an HOA.
Mm-hmm.
I remember so I have yearly fucking inspections of my entire apartment. And they're like, "Hey, we need fucking smoke detectors in every single room." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, I just want to kick stairs." That sounds horrible. And I have ADHD, and you know what? As soon as that fucking smoke detector fucking chirped once, it was off and this fucking armed off the fucking wall and
Before the
thrown out.
second beep. That's how it goes.
The last thing I want to do is be in the fucking Call of Duty lobby and you're
Mhm. Well, I panic. I feel fear. It's like, wait, is that a legit alarm? It's what? Why is the house beeping? That is bad. Bad sign. Bad. Let's find out. Investigate. Oh, now this is bothering me and it's annoying. Replace.
and it's like, okay, so if it stopped chirping, I completely understand forgetting about it. I completely understand. How the fuck do you sleep with it going cheap,
Mhm.
cheap? Like
Every
I
30
Google
seconds.
Exactly. Like I Googled what the interval was supposed to be. Okay, the light stays on and it chirps I think it was every minute
Yeah, it's like well,
once.
different brands are different. Some's like 30,
Yeah.
45 or a minute. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to sit here and listen. Nope, that's exactly what it is. I took it
Hmm.
down, took the fucking screwdriver, turned the fucking thing and deactivated it. It's like, I'm not fucking listening to it.
If you don't have
I'm just
batteries,
not.
just take it out and then buy batteries next time you're at the store. Pop back in, everyone's safe.
Well, now the ones aren't even like they're battery powered, but they're like not reusable. They're like, oh, they have a 3 year battery life. So you just have to turn the fucking screw in the back and all of a sudden it's dead. It's like, okay, that works fantastically. Why are all these people using fucking smoke detectors from 1967 where you have to have fucking mercury and pop in a fucking D battery into it that you know for damn sure has been lasting for fucking 10 years and it's leaking a little? Okay, like they're fucking $15 on Amazon. Just go buy them. It's not fucking rocket science, but it's a fucking pain in the ass for some reason that every fucking Call of Duty lobby hears chirp.
I don't
Fucking
know.
four houses in your HOA are hearing chirp. How the fuck does that work?
I don't know.
I,
That's
I
where I'm
would
just like
assume in the
everything is deliberately being destroyed around us. It's by design.
honestly, I feel like it is
And
because
the
like
way you can tell is you're not allowed to talk about it.
the more you zoom out, the more it looks very constructed.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
Like
like I said, like somehow this $800,000 home is allowed to have four families inside of it. I don't remember if I actually told the story on stream. I feel like I did, or like on the show, because at one point there was just a stack of mattresses outside, and the mattress stack fell over, hit one of the cars, set off the alarm, and like all the cars just started going out, and then they all came flooding out. And they had no idea what to do because they have like a million fucking keys. And they're trying to figure out which car is doing what with what key, and they don't know. Cause it's a panic at that point when you got six cars and a torn down fence parked everywhere and four families with mattresses everywhere. And like, okay, sure, I guess that's how they afford it, but that's not legal. No white person's allowed to do that. And then whenever they throw a party, the whole block looks like a fucking dealership.
but
And
honestly,
the new tech for all these Uber Eats drivers and all these like immigrant drivers and stuff is they have student driver stickers on their car. Have you noticed that?
no, I
I'm
haven't.
I'm seeing a lot of student drivers around. It's either temp plate or student driver. And I'm just like,
So
oh, that's nice. There's a teenager in the family coming up and starting out their life, and then a 30-year-old Pakistani dude walks out that house and slaps on their Uber light. I'm just like, how is that legal? They peel off the I've seen them peel off the student driver thing, turn on Uber and drive away. I'm just like, holy shit.
or like slap the magnet on the back of their car because it's like, oh my God, that's exactly how it works. No, like half the fucking state of New York. I know everybody thinks of the New York City, but like half the state of New York doesn't even have Uber or DoorDash or any of that shit. Like it's still back in like the
Hmm.
90s where you're sitting there and ordering fucking delivery and hope Domino's covers your fucking address. Like it's bad. But honestly, I think a lot of white people, if we weren't sold this whole, once you have a kid, once you have a significant other, you move out into your own house and you don't see your brother every day or you don't see
Hmm.
your mother every day. Like, I think if we weren't sold that entire ideology always and we weren't weirded out by having so many people in our house, I think that's more like what we would do. Like, and I think that's what a lot of people in like LA do, where one person buys a Lamborghini Urus and they, share it with four fucking people and by the end of the fucking 6 month
Hmm.
lease, all four of them have Uruses now because that symbol kind of gave them the availability to be like a wheeler and dealer in that situation.
That
I
sounds
think
like
a lot
commie
of,
shit to me. You need your own individuality, your space. That is your American dream, is having your house.
but like it's a lot like what I don't remember if it was Tate or somebody else, but he's like, why do you think Muslims go into a house and they're like, okay, I live with my brother. We sit here and we save half of our money. We make $100,000, $200,000 a year. We have no expenses because 50,000 of that is just taking care of this. We buy a house in our first year. We can buy the second house for my brother that lives next door next year. And it's like because they're consolidating their wealth, they have so much wealth going into one household. It is very easy for them to be able to, save that 10,
Hmm.
20%
I've
and
never
send
had
it
a problem
home.
with that, but if you're doing that into your late 20s, there's no then that stops making sense. But instead of like
But
if you like once you have enough for that second house and you don't immediately split it, I don't
So,
get
do
it.
you have, in your opinion, so this
Hmm.
is what I've always wanted, and I like hearing other people's opinion on this because the only other person that I've seen kind of have the same thought process was Myth, previous co-host of the
Hmm.
show. He was like, dude, I just want to buy a compound. I want to buy a house or a trailer park with all my friends being available to live in it and us be able to grow wealth together. Because that rent that you're paying to have upkeep and everything else, and we all take care of everything together, that goes into a pool and we save the money. Make it so that way we can make big purchases to upgrade this plot of land that is ours. And it's like, dude, I would fucking love that.
I've never seen that be successful.
Well, it is
It's
successful.
why
It's seen as a
communism doesn't
cult.
work. It's not a compound, that's a commune. And people don't want to share their wealth. It's like, oh, you're making 20K and I'm making 80K, and you want to get the same upgrade as me? That
No,
ain't
no,
happening, son.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Well, I'm
saying
saying
like
that's how it always ends up, though. That no one is always going to be at the same exact level, performing greatly throughout the entire thing. If the resources are being shared, someone has more and someone has less, and eventually that equilibrium is going to break, and the entire system fucks.
oh, absolutely. I don't disagree there at all. What I'm saying is like say you buy a trailer park for $100,000 and there's 15 trailers in there.
Hmm.
Would you rather rent them out to randos or people that you can guarantee are going to pay their rent and you upgrade and take care of the place?
Yeah, but no one does that because it doesn't. It just doesn't appear. Like, who has 15 friends that can sustain? Everyone I know is living out there with their parents except for you.
That's crazy.
That's everyone I grew up in high school. My brother, all of his friends. Actually, what happened? Actually, no, I shouldn't tell this because people know who my brother is. But yeah,
No, and that's the shitty part is like that is kind of the American dream now is like to have your friends around, be able to, grow old with your homies and be able to still fucking play N64 on the fucking weekends
hmm
and play fucking Mario Kart and have some fun. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah, you
same
build
exact
your
thing we were talking
families
about.
together, but it's not in the same house.
Oh, I
And
know.
it's
But
also
I'm
not
saying
in the
like
same trailer park because like
that
it doesn't happen as a compound. It happens where you buy two houses in the cul-de-sac with your childhood friend.
no, I'm saying that that's the culture difference. The
Hmm.
culture difference for those Middle Eastern people or even the East with China and Japan and stuff like that. In Asian homes, they do the same exact thing. They have the grandparent that's kind of like the helicopter parent and takes care of everything. And you move grandma in. Okay, now we have fucking four generations worth of people living under the same roof, but it's an eight fucking bedroom house. Who cares?
Not in Japan. It's 800 square feet, and you got grandma and
Oh,
parents and stuff, and
I,
that's
I
that's
know I'm
not what you want.
I'm being hyperbolic,
But
but
but being hyperbolic is not reality. There is no reality where there's a Middle Eastern family that is multi generational in an 8 bedroom house. They're in a normal 1,200 square foot
no, but
place.
when this country was founded, if you look back at older homes, older colonials and stuff like that that haven't been transformed into fucking duplexes and separate homes and stuff like that, it's five, six, seven, 8 bedrooms that are, four or $500,000 that are run down more than likely because nobody's took care of them for generations. But more than likely, that 6, 7 bedroom house wasn't because they had fucking 8 kids. It was because they had grandma and grandpa living there too.
I disagree because anything that's 5, 6 bedrooms, that's a conversion to drive up the home price to eventually turn it into a duplex. When I bought my house, that was a Victorian house in the 1912. I think it was built 1912. It was 3 beds. It was all the bedrooms upstairs, good living space downstairs, and it was
Mhm.
only three. It wasn't
Oh,
five, it wasn't six. It was for a single family. It was still single family homes
that's it.
back in 1912.
I'm talking about like the 17, 1800s when there were homes that now would be,
That's because
six,
we're
seven, 800,000.
settling.
Yeah.
And I don't even
Well,
think it was that because people build a log cabin and then they go out and claim a land plot, and that's not for grandma. That is for you. You leave your parents. You say, "Hey, I'm going out. I'm settling," and that's when you build a cabin by yourself. Find some random chick that's just moving around, I guess, and that's your family now. I don't think any multi-family or like multi-generational structure has ever existed in this country outside of 1700s. We don't even have land.
oh, and I don't disagree with you. I'm just explaining where that thought process comes from of like, okay, that's why they
That's
do
what
it
I
is
mean.
like to
That's why
build
where it's
wealth.
like that's a kind of incompatible cultural difference that doesn't sound pleasant in any capacity. Why do I want to live with four other families in my house and I have no identity and no personal space? I don't want to hear my brother fucking.
So when I lived with my parents last, we lived in a gated community and we were renting a house in a gated
Hmm.
community. It was fucking sick. $1,500 house. And absolutely, it went to shit because it's like, even if one person or two people have the right mindset of how to separate bills and take care of things and stuff like that, if you have one shitbag who absolutely doesn't fucking understand money or has availability to the fucking bank account to handle the situation, everybody gets fucked.
Hmm.
Everybody does because that one person that's irresponsible crashes fucking everything.
Yeah. That's why communism, socialism doesn't work, and all these ideal ideas where it's like, yeah, I would like to have all my friends live together in the same area and we could make it work. But all it takes is one bum, and statistically, someone's going to be a bum, and it's over.
And like, honestly, I think that that is the greatest fucking possibility of how things would work. I'd love to do that with like a handful of people. But then you get the one person that, you end up having an argument with and it crashes the entire
Oh yeah,
thing.
also
Or
friendships just deteriorate over time. You're not going to be friends forever with everyone that you're good friends with now. And that's really bad.
or it becomes a cult and you become a fucking leader of something fucking crazy and then you have a big ass fucking problem. So I know you fucking hate leaks. I know it's your least favorite thing in the world other than hacks. You hate when people fucking leak shit. But did you hear about the Xbox leaks that are coming true
No.
for from what? So do you remember when I believe you were either the guest or it might have been right as you started as a host, but we were talking about Xbox Game Pass and I enjoyed it and I really thoroughly liked the service and I felt like that was kind of their answer out of the console market.
Okay.
I felt like it was going to be their answer. They weren't going to make consoles anymore. It was kind of like the start of that idea. I think I think I was talking about the Steam Deck. It might have been right before you joined and stuff like that. And like how I saw that as like the next kind of answer of how things were going to go. Because I do. I genuinely think that Xbox Game Pass and how everything is moving,
Hmm.
I don't think Xbox is going to have a system much longer. I don't think PlayStation is going to have a system much longer. I think we're going to move into, stores and stuff like that or subscription services where we're able to rent games and have the licenses available to us as long as we have the service paid for. PlayStation started it with giving away 2 games for free as long as you had PlayStation Plus. Now Xbox Game Pass is the thing. It's kind of going more towards the Netflix model. I don't think, everybody having 5 fucking consoles in their house is probably going to be the answer much, much longer than probably maybe this next generation that's coming.
Okay, what does this have to do with leaks?
I'm getting there. I'm explaining my thought process so you understand why I was excited about the leaks. You dipshit.
And
So,
you already know I'm not excited about this, so please just get to the leaks. I understand how Game Pass works.
so Xbox is now leaking saying that they're going to have Steam and Epic's Game Store on either their console or they're going to be working with Microsoft to release console PCs for TVs now instead of it just being like a home office. Like this is kind of the progress that I kind of thought exactly what was going to happen with Xbox and PlayStation. I think I kind of feel verified in this. I think I called this, a year, 2 years ago. I think that this is kind of the right way that everybody saw this going. And I was one of the first people that called it out. I think this is exactly what's going to happen. Xbox is not going to be paying for consoles to be going to your house anymore. That's why they are increasing prices.
I don't understand why they would do that.
Why wouldn't they do that?
I mean, like, I guess they have to, because, like, you either get assimilated by Steam or you try something, but it just kind of shows, like, yeah, consoles are outdated unless you're Nintendo. So you got to do something, but that just sounds like a really stupid idea.
But it's the same exact thing that we were talking about when Switch 2 came out. Before all the kind of like specs and everything happened. And we were talking about it. Like a Game Pass form of Nintendo is probably on the horizon. It may not be Switch 2, and Switch still may be in the market to kind of argue with things like this. A fucking Steam Deck. You know what I'm saying? This
Hmm.
thing is fucking fantastic. It does its fucking job. It's a pocket PC. It can literally do everything. So as a whole, it's like, okay, so that's where Nintendo fits in. I kind of assume that that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to build a handheld PC of some kind and probably put a few other fucking platforms in it and sell it and probably allow Nintendo eShop on fucking PlayStation or on PC at some point.
Nintendo
At some point.
Nintendo would never ever do that. They, especially with the
They're
domination
going to
they
be
have now.
last. They're
No,
going to be
never.
last.
They still have like peak exclusives. They just got Duskborn 2 as an exclusive on Nintendo or yeah, Nintendo Switch 2.
But
That's
do you
it.
think Okay, so I'm not talking next 2 years. I'm talking next
Never.
15. You think that Nintendo dies before they create a service like
They
Game
don't
Pass?
die. They don't need to. They have cornered the exclusivity market. That they will stay off PC and they will thrive because of it.
But that exclusivity market, without it being a store,
Hmm.
causes things like piracy and everything else that you hate to be more rampant towards that
And they
specific
and they shut
creator.
it down and they actually are litigious about those things. And if it gets
No,
worse, then that means piracy goes away forever because of all the lawsuits.
I agree. I
So
completely
that's what I mean.
don't
Like Nintendo has no
don't disagree
reason to
there.
concede. Nintendo has no reason to change anything because they are fucking winning.
I'm just saying at some point the Game Pass marketing kind of thing of like, okay, all of our games are available through this specific thing, and things like peripherals, like controllers and stuff like that, being the thing that they're selling, or even fucking like PCs essentially, with it being Microsoft, I assume that's probably what it's going to be. It's not going to be some Linux box. It's probably going to be Windows based. Like, I'm not surprised Xbox is going that way. How is anybody surprised that that was the answer of what Xbox was going to do? Consolidating Xbox into Microsoft was always the fucking answer.
Yeah,
Why
but
is everybody
now again, because
confused?
like now you lose your identity as a console, and the competition is already too much. Because like, okay, why care about an Xbox computer when I have a gaming computer now?
I think that they're too late.
Yeah,
So let me say
exactly.
that. I think that they're too late. They
That's
probably
why I
needed
call
to
it
do
stupid.
this.
It's like they lose. That this doesn't
If you
seem
did
winning.
this after the 360 and this was your big announcement for the Series X, when nobody really has gaming PCs other than creators and like,
Hmm.
what was it, like 5% of the market share at that point instead of 30% like it is now? Like, that's a win. That's a huge win because at the same time, you have the Windows Phone being the same dashboard and everything as the Xbox 360. Like, you have all of the transferable things like Apple has now. I think that's a win at that point. I think if you launch Game Pass right after 360, that's a fucking slam dunk. That's a home run.
Yeah,
I think it may be late, and I think it really kind of shows how bad the console market actually is.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like the console market's too terrible for this to make sense.
So do you feel like this is Xbox admitting defeat? Is this Xbox waving the flag and saying, the Japanese won? Nintendo and Sony have won.
I think that's been true for a while because like what exclusives does Xbox have that matters compared to just I'll play it on Steam?
Well, honestly, you have them buying so many fucking founders and creators currently with, them buying Activision, them buying
Hmm.
Blizzard. You know what I'm saying? How many different consoles are not consoles, how many different game production companies now are not owned by Xbox? And they have to leave those games open so that way it's not a fucking monopoly.
Yeah, if anything, I think maybe Game Pass was just the concession, and we didn't realize it at the time. Where like that is the only way they can stay competitive with PC is just having like everything available on the service. Now everything is becoming Game Pass. They don't say sales anymore. They say we have 5 million players because that's their ecosystem. So I think that's I guess the play is like they aren't about consoles. They aren't about any kind of game distribution. It's just Netflix for gaming, and that's it. That's
Like
their only play.
I don't have Xbox, so I can't speak on this. I have
Hmm.
PlayStation, and I'm kind of confused whether or not I should continue the PlayStation Plus membership because I have fucking 4 PCs in my house now. It kind of makes sense just to use Game Pass regardless at this point. It kind of just makes sense. But they don't have a family fucking option for fucking Game Pass, nor do they have it for PlayStation Plus. So it kind of sucks on both ends. But as a whole, it's like this kind of was the path. You have Xbox Live, which I don't even know if you need anymore with Game Pass being a thing. Do you just pay for Game Pass when you have Xbox? I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand why everything's going to Game Pass because I'm like, what's the point of Game Pass? I think that they're just forcing it. They're just like, fine, we're going to put everything on Game Pass, even if no one knows anyone that's on Game Pass. Eventually, we're going to have to get someone. It's kind of like how Netflix just bought out every show. It's like, we'll pay $1 billion for Seinfeld. Someone will have to sign up for Netflix if we have Seinfeld exclusivity.
But do you remember like when everybody was arguing that the Xbox 360 was a better console, which it absolutely
Yeah.
was. But the PS3's main claim was, "Oh, our online play is free." Which is why everybody said the worst players were on PlayStation and everything else. Oh, they can buy their console and they
Hmm.
can just play it with their internet. It's like, okay, is that Xbox's play. Did they literally flip the script of like, okay, no, just pay for Game Pass and you have all the games that you want for free? Essentially, like you pay for one subscription service and you're allowed to just play without live. If they flipped it, I find it really funny. I don't know. I don't have Xbox. I just have PC. I pay for my internet and I don't have to pay for my fucking services like a fucking weirdo. But I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It's weird the way that the console market's going because, I was a console kid up until fucking PS5. After PS5 happened, I bought my PC. That's when I swapped. And I swapped because of needing it for content in my
Well, I think
hand.
that's also another thing. Like that generation of consoles, PS4, PS5, was just like, I'd rather just save twice as much money, get $1,000 gaming computer, and I'm set for a generation and a half. And I can just slot in shit to upgrade it. I think just the thing is, PCs became too good. They became too powerful and too cheap, so consoles aren't needed anymore unless you do something crazy like Nintendo.
Especially when you're running, graphics cards that are 960s and stuff like that from fucking
Hmm.
a decade ago. People are still running that shit from like the start of
Yeah.
YouTube times.
And then when you lose all of your exclusivity, you have nothing. So I guess you just have to fold and be like, yeah, we'll just open to every console, and hopefully Game Pass is enough. All I see is just studios closing down or laying people off, so I think it's all just trash.
And like you have these conglomerate games that happen. Like, you have Smash, who kind of started that with the Nintendo ecosystem. And then you move into things like Fortnite, where, there's skins from fucking Master
Hmm.
Chief and all of these artists and everything else, and everybody gets so excited about it. It's just like, okay, I could understand where that's really cool. I love playing a Sub-Zero in every single fucking game I possibly can, or Scorpion, or you know what I'm saying? I love seeing those characters everywhere, but at the same time, those characters being available everywhere at some point makes it so way the character is invaluable. The
I don't think
character
that's the comparison. I just think that this is natural market progression. Steam invalidates consoles. Consoles just die. It has to happen. And there's going to be some struggle. There's going to be some, pat like at the water surface as you take your last breath. But that's it. Like Xbox and PlayStation are drowning. They have no options. They're just going to do stupid shit until it's over.
I don't even I think PlayStation might last another generation
Yeah, like
just on their own.
yeah, they're in a better off position. But again,
It's
when
like,
like they just gave up all of their exclusivity and now like Game Pass and some to be like, oh, because I remember when no one cared about Epic Store. It's like, oh, that game's on Epic Store. I'll just skip it. But now because of Fortnite, Epic Store is competitive with Steam, and adding
and
a
they're free
third one.
games.
But then like adding a third one with Game Pass, it's like now Game Pass is the third wheel. No one cares about it. I don't think it will ever get enough market share. And it's why you just don't care about. At some point, you don't care about anything. Like I'm not going to have Hulu and Disney Plus and Netflix and HBO. That you just cut off the worst one, and that's going to be Xbox.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you see it. And I think I see it. And this just clicked in my head. I started playing Forza recently, which I'm surprised you haven't played games like that and kind of like broke them down to the level that you
Never
do
liked
with
them.
Pokemon and stuff. I know you may not be a racing game guy, but I know you like sports and all that kind of stuff. And you like that stuff too.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of surprised that other games like that didn't fancy your whole breakdown kind of style. But I was confused when they announced that Forza was going to PlayStation. It's like your biggest title, like one of your software developed things
Hmm.
is now no longer Xbox exclusive. Yet it's created by Xbox Game Studios. Very similar to what PlayStation did with MLB The Show, which was a PlayStation exclusive fucking sports game for the longest time. And it was the longest running baseball exclusive, like the best running baseball game that there was. Now it's kind of diluted because it's available
Yeah,
everywhere,
I
including
think
Switch. But
you can actually see it with the Pass. The play is every new game is free here. Like you just pay the subscription, you get every new game instead. And I think they have gone to that service, but as we learned with Google Stadia, that fails. So I don't know what they're trying to do or anything. Like what they really need to do is just buy the rights to Marvel Rivals. Like if Marvel Rivals was the Smash Bros exclusive of Xbox only, then you need it or you need Game Pass. There's no reason to need Game Pass unless you want free shit.
and EA and Xbox are doing the same exact thing. They do it with smoke and mirrors. There's some games that are available day one on Game Pass and EA and everything else. And then there's games where it's like, oh, you get 2 hours. And they do not tell you which one it is. Meanwhile, you're downloading for fucking 6 hours
Hmm.
and you hope that you're able to play the full game and enjoy it. Meanwhile, you get a 2 hour fucking demo. And it's it's almost like they're trying to treat it like everybody's fucking stupid, and they're hoping that they get the hooks in you with that 2 hour demo to fucking buy the game, and after you already paid for the fucking subscription service. It's like them selling the movies on fucking Disney Plus. Where the fuck do you go watch the movies on Disney Plus that you purchase?
Yeah.
At some point, it just becomes redundant. It becomes
Well, I
just
think it's
an
just a
inconsistent
symptom of
thing.
enshittification. That's like you rent for $15 or you buy for $20 a new movie. Guess I gotta buy it so I don't just see it once in 24 hours. I'm paying more anyways. Cool.
And that shit's even stupid. Like, okay, so in my divorce and separation, we had a Hulu account. When you're together for fucking not Hulu, a Vudu account. When you're together for that long, think of how big that fucking movie library is. Do you fucking go to Walmart and buy a movie every now and then? No, you
Hmm.
fucking just go on Hulu
Well,
or
that's like
Vudu and
what
you're
it is
like,
now.
buy that
Like
one.
instead of having your stack of DVD collection, you have some digital library, and it's several $100s or 1,000.
But honestly, like you have all your favorite movies on there. Do you want to go and buy them a fucking fourth time because the
Hmm.
family Voodoo account wasn't under your email? And it's like at some point you get kicked off of it. At some point you're like, oh fuck, where'd those presents go? Because half of them, are fucking
Hmm.
family presents. They're like, oh, you love this movie series. Let me buy you this 6 disc set online. And it's like, oh, it's a digital account. Okay, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I only
It's
watch
almost
one movie a year, and the last one was like Puss in Boots 2, which is a banger. I love it. But when I bought it on Amazon, it was like rental $20, purchase 25. I was just like, really? I have to
I,
buy the movie I want to watch now because you're not just make it a $5 rental, please. Like I'm buying a movie ticket. No, it's so stupid.
they're doing the same exact thing with games. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? On both the Xbox store and the PlayStation store. They don't fucking discount shit. You
That's the
can
only
go
way they
back
can
and
make
try and
console
buy
work.
Modern Warfare 2019, and grandma has no idea, but yet it's still fucking $60. Grandma
Hmm.
doesn't know, so she's like, "Oh, here's a digital code for this. Go buy it." And you're lost because you don't fucking get it. The game's from fucking 2019, not fucking 2022 or 2025, and all of a sudden you're confused. It's stupid. It's just smoke and mirrors, man, and that's what it feels like. But the only way to fix those voodoo accounts, because I guarantee you there are people that are worse off than mine. It's almost like you should have to have separate logins, and it should be IP done like fucking Netflix. Oh no, this email address has a login, and your email address has a login, and the entire fucking movie pool is separated
I
into
mean
all of
that's
you.
how licenses have always worked. You don't just get to go, "Oh, we're divorcing, so we need to mirror all of our Blu-ray discs." No, that's what DRM is for. You don't buy one for each of you when you buy a thing. It's got to go somewhere and only one person gets it cuz you paid for one. And I think that's fair. It's
Oh,
always
I,
been that
I
way.
understand that, but it should be available to be transferred.
Yeah, I guess like to split up the library. But why would they do
Exactly.
that? Why would they make a service where it's like, "No, we'll just make you pay for it again." Fuck you.
It's like,
You
oh,
should have made the second account then. You should have predicted your divorce 15 years from now.
exactly. I should have just, made sure the Hurt Locker was on my account instead of hers. No,
And
for
also,
damn sure she's
they
not going
kind,
to watch it.
yeah, exactly. And they also kind of seed that where she'd just be like, "Why won't you download it on mine?" When it's like, "But I want this movie on mine. It's my movie." It's like, "No, we're going to put it
It's
on mine. Shared
it's a
bank account."
control thing,
Hmm.
shared bank account thing, and it's like, oh well, when you walk away, you get half of everything and the entire fucking movie collection. I got a fucking closet worth of empty DVD cases because they were all transferred over to digital, and I don't have any of the fucking digital copies because your ass wanted to be controlling and say that it was under your email. Crazy. It's fucking insane. It's stupid.
Hmm.
But yeah, I saw the same exact thing when I purchased the Minecraft movie for the kids. I think it was last week. They wanted to watch it. So I was like, okay, fuck it. And it came up early on Voodoo. So I just bought it on my Voodoo account. I was like, yep, go ahead, go watch it. It's fine. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious that, I'm once again being proven right. And, I called this. I called this a year ago, 2 years ago. And it's hilarious that, it just falls into place. Xbox is dead. That might even be a better third part than the left cancer. But Xbox is dead, and it's going to continue dying and dying
Yeah.
and dying.
Well, as a
And Game
Nintendo
Pass is going to be
fanboy,
left.
like, yeah, Xbox has been dead this entire generation. I haven't seen any point or compelling reason to do it. They desperately threw out Game Pass, but that devalues their entire market and still just makes them a lesser Epic Game Store or Steam.
Yeah, because you're not owning anything. You're just renting it.
Hmm.
Like Epic Game Store gives out games every single fucking week.
Hmm.
Some of them are AAA titles. Some of them absolutely are not. I completely understand where, they just paid an indie developer to release their game for free. I get it. But like, sometimes you get crazy fucking games on there. It's like, wow, I didn't expect that for free.
Also, back like what really helped out Steam was Humble Bundle just being bangers. $5 and you get like $100 of good games.
Yeah.
It's like, sure,
Uh,
I'll do that every month. So that was your Steam subscription service, was just getting Humble Bundle shit. Grew the player base, and now it can't compete with anything. Only reason Epic works is because of Fortnite.
Yeah, Steam works because, they have fucking sales going every single fucking month.
Hmm.
There's a sale on this, a sale on that. As soon as you open Steam, there's 15 fucking notifications for sales. And it's like you could find a AAA title that's fucking $5 in there that you wanted to buy last year for 60 and you said, "Oh fuck it, I won't." And
I'll
hope
wait
that
till
it's
the
on a
Steam
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 sale.
sale. That's everyone's game plan. Is if they
Yep.
don't want to play it on launch, I'll wait for the Steam sale.
Yeah, if
How is a
it's not a
console going to
game
complete? It compete. It can't.
because they don't ever put sales on those games. The games that you want never go on sale unless it's some fucking indie game that they just launched on fucking PlayStation that they're like, "Oh, we're going to sell at a loss so that way we can get a player base on PlayStation," and then never update anything. That's exactly what it is. It's just it's crazy to see exactly how gaming has changed because it's gone back to the exact model that happened when we were kids. When we were kids, there was this thing called web TV because nobody fucking bought computers. They were fucking expensive. Have you ever Googled a 1998 $2,000 PC? It'd be like fucking $10 now because it
Hmm.
literally has nothing in it. There is zero value in it. Meanwhile, MacBooks that you spend $2,000 on now are still fucking $1,500 5, 6 years down the road.
Yeah.
But there was things like web TV where you could plug in essentially a VCR into your TV, and you plug in a fucking phone jack into it, and you connect to dial up on your fucking 42-inch bubble screen in the fucking living room, and you could surf the web and use email and Ask Jeeves and everything else in fucking 1998. We're going back to the same fucking thing. You're now going to be plugging in an Xbox TV, and it's just going to be a fucking Apple box.
I mean, Apple already has that.
I know.
They have their little things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just no games on it. I was just
Hmm.
it's essentially the same fucking thing. They're just going backwards. They're resurfacing the same fucking ideas and everybody
Yeah,
buys
now
it.
if like you really need to game, you just get like a $600 gaming computer, which will play your Rocket League and your League of Legends, so you're fine, and your Fortnite. And yeah, that's it.
Well, that argument's exactly why I said the Steam Deck thing is like Nintendo has its own ecosystem right now where they're not being approached on because they have things like Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. The only thing that Xbox has to that level was Forza,
Well, that's what I've been talking about. Like
Gears of
Xbox gave
War,
up all their
and Halo.
exclusives. They can't have a console anymore. Nintendo will never give up their exclusives, so they will stay console, and they are fine for it. They should not fall down that hole because they won. They have all their domination, and it's stupid if they try anything else. So they'll just be like, fine, we'll make a Steam Deck of our exclusives. And they did, and Nintendo Switch 2 is going to bang.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, and this is where I was going with the next 10 years thing with Nintendo. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they partner with Asus or they partner with Sony and they
They
launch
don't need
a
to. And also, that's what they
no,
do.
not a store. I'm saying something completely different. They launch a full entire gaming handheld PC that's better than the Xbox One, better than all of these fucking systems that are
Do
going to
you
come
not
out.
know what is in the Nintendo Switch? Do you know what the
It,
processor is for a Nintendo Switch?
from what I saw, it is at least at PlayStation 5
No, no,
launch
I'm like, what
generation.
company makes it? It's not a Nintendo chip. It's an Nvidia chip in your Nintendo Switch.
Hmm?
They've already partnered with Asus or Nvidia or whatever. It is a computer.
No, that's my point. Is they're going to go into the handheld PC realm and probably control it.
That's what the Nintendo Switch 2 is. It's powerful enough to be it's a Steam Deck.
No, I if they have to open it up from the back at some point. The next one will probably not be run on, that home screen that from the Switch where there's little cubes. It's going to be not necessarily Windows based because I don't think they go that far, but it's going to be some processor base of like the Steam Deck where it's the home screen of Steam.
You don't need to though, because that's like your whole thing about your smartphone. You open up and you just see all your apps, and it's in completely app based. Nintendo Switch is completely app based. It's still a computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you can
If
use
they open,
you use a smartphone exactly like a computer. Use a tablet exactly like a computer. And I think there's no problem with the home screen on the Switch. You have all your apps, you got your little boxes, you can make more boxes. If you want to go to a place, boom, you click it, done. I think it's fine. Their ecosystem's perfect. They don't have to concede anything.
oh, right at this point, I completely agree. I think that they're ahead
Yeah.
in like the ecosystem part. But at some point, if they do not, future proof this and keep growing, they're going to become stagnant and fall behind. I think that this move for Xbox
No,
is,
no, I
a
completely
decade
disagree because
too late.
every time they change YouTube, when like, oh, they change how a channel layout looks, the video layout, everyone complains. The biggest complaint right now is like, stop fucking with our shit. Stop changing Reddit. Stop changing Discord. Don't update anything. It was great. Every time you update something, you make it worse. So I just want that familiarity. I just want Nintendo to be the Switch. It's been the Switch format since the DS. I want all my little things on the homepage. I press the button and I either go to options or I go to my game. I don't want you to fuck with it anymore because it works. If it's simple and works, don't change it. And I love Nintendo for that. And they don't need to do anything to change it.
It's hard because
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me YouTube
don't
channels were not better in 2013.
I don't think you're wrong because you're also biting on nostalgia with me, and I understand that too. Like, I don't think Twitter's great. You want to know what I would want instead of Twitter, instead of Facebook, instead of fucking Instagram? I want to go back to fucking MySpace. I want to go back to making my own shit and
Yeah,
making it
so
look cool,
exactly.
and I can
Why
do my
do
own
they
fucking
need to.
thing.
Yeah. So why should a company feel the need to progress or not be left behind? The people that are making new and shitification Zoomer AI generative BS, that no one wants that. Just stay. Just be conservative, be
But
normal.
the growth from Ash Jeeves to MySpace is obviously growth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there is needed growth in the space in gaming
I
as a
don't think
whole
so. Why would we? I don't need anything
because
to
the
be.
next thing is coming. The next thing was Steam Decks, right? We,
Yeah.
we saw that with the Switch and the Steam Deck and everything else when those launched. That was the next step. We know at some point within the next decade, it's going to change again. We've seen it. We've seen it transfer from the N64 to fucking gaming PCs. There's a big fucking difference
And
there.
everyone still wants to play the N64, which is why it's several $100s to get an old N64, and each game is unreachable now. Every game costs the same price as a new Nintendo Switch game because people want it just as bad.
Oh, dude, I wish I still had all my shit.
See, that's what I see exactly. We don't
I
need
had 60
change.
fucking games.
Change has been proven to be bad and awful in most cases, or you just make like small adjustments with the technology, but you don't change anything.
Yeah. No, and honestly, that's why I kind of like the Apple ecosystem with things like that.
Hmm.
Like the
Oh yeah, that was
changes
another thing I was going to say.
are
I'm like,
always
what's the
upgrades.
difference? The iPhone 1 is still the same platform of you only have apps. They did not put
Yeah.
a Mac computer into the iPhone because they could. They kept it just apps. They just kept it simple and you can do whatever you want. And if you need something, just make a new app for it. And that is now your solution. And they're not going to change the entire platform. They just add convenience. And
No,
that's yeah.
that's why I like the Apple ecosystem. Everybody complains, it's like, oh, why do you want blue text? It's like, I don't give a fuck about what color my text messages are.
It
I
just
like how
works
fucking
together.
smooth and concise everything
Hmm.
is. Like, I saw this week, they got sued like fucking 15 times because they were refusing to launch fucking Fortnite on the Apple
Yeah.
Store. It's like, who the fuck wants to play fucking Fortnite on their phone? First off, I understand the problem of refusing to launch something after they, took percentages on it and everything else. Whatever. I do not care. Why the fuck do we want to play fucking AAA level games on our fucking phone instead
12
of
people
on
do. So I can't. It's a large enough market that I'm too terrified to know how big it is.
like I remember when I was working, I wasn't making enough. Well, no, let me rephrase that. My ex-wife was spending all of our free money on fucking cigarettes and spending $30 a day on fucking cigarettes. So I didn't have extra money to pay for things like Spotify or YouTube Premium. So I would use the fucking side loader apps as a way to use fucking the features because fuck ads. Fuck all of ads. It sucks. I completely understand where half of everybody is coming from with side loading shit. I get it. And it's just like, I just wish that everybody was a little bit more understanding about all this stuff
Hmm.
because that's what Epic Games' fucking argument was against Apple to begin with. Oh, we want to sideload things. Well, you can sideload things. It's just not acceptable, and you have to fucking pass through hoops to do it every time. It's just frustrating because like the arguments aren't understood by most people.
Hmm. I was thinking more about like, oh yeah, why Nintendo doesn't need to change anything. It's the same like home screen as the Wii. Again, like you don't change any of the base systems, you just make it more powerful and functional. You don't have to progress because everyone thought like VR was going to be the next direction. That oh, the Nintendo Switch 2 has to be like a VR console, or the next console has to be a VR console. That's what I thought, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. That was like the only direction. You just put on your headset, your entire computer's there, and that's the future. Like that's the
I
only direction I think is that can go to the next level. If not, don't
I
fuck with it.
never I never expected VR to be the answer. I expected AR to be the answer. And it kind of has been.
But no console's doing that. See, that would be the sensical Xbox thing that you make the AR home ecosystem. But that's more Nintendo's space, and they're not even doing it. So
Yeah, like
that's not the future. The future is just
even
make the same shit more powerful.
even with, them owning Pokemon and them having Pokemon Go, which is logically, I could be wrong. I could be missing some huge
They
fucking
just
thing.
sold Niantic, remember?
Yeah, I know. But that was the largest augmented reality thing that I can think of.
Hmm.
Y- Can you think of anything
Yeah,
bigger
but
in augmented reality than
no,
Pokemon
but
Go?
that was already like the system that Nintendo bought from Niantic and now it's sold. I think that actually shows that the future is not AR or even VR because they just sold
That
off all
that was
those
my point.
properties.
That
Yeah.
was It's like logically the next thing would be to integrate games and life and
Hmm.
everything else. You see the Apple headset and everything where you're able to put stuff up on walls and it stays
Yeah.
there and everything else. Like I could see where that would be the next step. But it's like even the largest thing with AR, which to me is more logical and more likely than VR, because who the fuck wants to have a headset on when they're playing fucking games?
I do. I love VR. I when I had my entire like VR setup, I'm like this needs to be the future. I want it to be more. You go into like that Steam VR home and it's actually a home and like you just play your games from it. I
But to
want
me,
that. I'm sad we're not there. I'm sad that that's not the next generation.
I was more surprised by the Minecraft table thing where you're able to move it and
Hmm.
change it and with just
Do
having
that
glasses on.
inside of VR. Have it all. I don't care.
No, but like it being so this could be the autism. Absolutely
Hmm.
could be. But it being in my real home or like in the space that I know makes it feel more real and more like I'm able to
Yeah.
suspend myself in the situation more. Like I know that there's the funny memes of like, oh, Squirtle's standing on titties right now,
Yeah.
or Pidgey's standing on a dick right now. Like those are funny. But as a whole, I can understand that being there or that being that thing so much more than, being sat in a black room until I click a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've never used VR and I've
Oh,
been
you got
very
to use
open
VR.
about
It'll
that.
change your entire perspective. You'll come back and be like, "Oh, I get it now. I want
Like
everything to be VR."
I could completely understand where I would get it, but I also understand I get motion sick. So it's like I don't want to risk hundreds of dollars with a purchase just to be
Mhm.
like, oh, I get sick with it and it sucks. It sucks. So did you hear about the leak from Kanye West?
No, I don't care about Kanye or music or entertainment or culture.
It's just funny. It's funny because, they set him up to sue a whole bunch of people for no fucking reason. Just that way they could donate ad rev to, I think it was like a Holocaust museum. And I saw the most fucking retarded fucking comment ever. They're like, this song is going to be playing at Auschwitz. And I'm like, you people are fucking disgusting. You people are fucking disgusting
See, that's what
because,
I mean. Like, that's just too stupid for me to dedicate any care for.
and it's just like, I understand the funniness of this because you're like, oh my God, this is donating to that. And they're both opposing sides. It's like, why does anybody care?
Hmm.
Why does anybody care? And then I saw this fucking picture. Let's see if I can find it. It was it was the real Kanye West was actually homeless, and the new Kanye is actually fake. And it makes you feel like the entire world is like
No,
fake and just
no anyone giving this any amount of attention is why everything is so shit. Because we're being distracted and we're being pulled by the machine to care about this bullshit as everything around us is deliberately destroyed to demoralize us. That every fucking brain cell that goes into thinking about this is energy wasted trying to correct society.
Well, I think that honestly,
It's all a
because
psyop.
more than likely, this shit is fucking AI, more than likely, because that's logically the answer. I just think it's funny to portray shit that's AI is real. But we have the shit going in the right way with things like Trump banning all AI, a lot of AI nudity and stuff like that, literally a couple days ago.
Hmm.
And you know, I assume that most people are going to be like, "Oh my god, it needs to be free speech. Fuck it, you're not allowed to portray anything like that." But it's like, okay, how far does it go? Does it go as like? Did you see the Epstein video where he's sitting there hugging all of the accusers and everything
Just
else?
because we have technology doesn't mean like it now needs to be protected. I feel. I think like I also think that the internet shouldn't be free. Like every service needs to be like identified and traced back to you. I don't care if it can be weaponized against me. All these people that are like doxing me and sending me death threats on Twitter, you wouldn't do it if your address and social security was tied to it. That's why fucking South Korea is such a polite society. All of your stuff is connected together. And I want that. Like, I don't think it's a violation of my privacy or free speech. That is a the internet is a luxury. If you were talking about luxuries like AI or something, there needs to be restrictions on it. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. Stop making my life
Honestly,
terrible.
so both of us have been doxxed, and me and you talked about this in the DMs about this shit that one of our fans sent us like, "Hey, this motherfucker's sending
It's not
shit."
even recent. It's my entire
I,
time
I
on
know,
YouTube. So it's like
I
I
know.
don't. It's not even relevant. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about doxing as a whole. It's hard to like look at it as not a problem because like there's so much information that is publicly available to fucking everybody, regardless of if you're a content creator, you're a fucking stalker, you're a fucking weirdo. Like all of these
I
fucking
mean, that's just
weirdos
my
that,
complaint. Is like the laws have not kept up with that. The laws are too far behind on all technology.
and it's like, not even if you're a creator, you're not protecting the random person that fucking just goes to a 9 to 5. Or, that girl that you work with that has a nice ass. You're like, oh, what's her phone number? And you can fucking find it online because
Mm.
you're a fucking weirdo. It's like, just being a just being somebody who is victimized by being doxxed isn't just the start of the issue. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel uncomfortable. Absolutely. And I think both of us fucking agree with that. It's fucking uncomfortable that you can go and find information about fucking anybody. But why the fuck is that information available to everybody? Like, you don't have to go on the fucking dark web. You don't have to go on this crazy fucking website that,
Do you
should be
forget
illegal.
that phone books just had people's name, number, and address just right there? Like this is how information has
But
always
you
been.
could opt out of phone books.
No one did, and
I,
no one thinks to do it until they get targeted.
Absolutely, but the standard should be not at all and then opt in.
I just think that the use of it for nefarious practices just needs to not be anonymized. The only reason this is happening is because it's anonymized through the internet. Because like if it was a phone book, it's like oh, unless you did it through a payphone or something, it's like yeah, we can trace you. You're caught. Good job, stalker. That's a
So,
restraining order.
so do you think the answer to this, obviously AI, you say shouldn't be protected in that same way. Do you think that things like a VPN is banning VPNs the start of fixing that answer? Because
Yeah.
that anonymizes you, makes it
Well, I mean,
available.
the thing is, VPNs are actually not like that's the whole thing. When people expose the sponsorships for VPNs, they don't protect you. The government can just send like a request at any point, and then they just have to give up the data.
But if VPNs are what they say they are, which I don't think they are, I completely
No,
agree
like
with
people
where
have
you're
already
coming from.
debunked that a million times over.
But as a whole, they're selling you a service and lying to you.
And the people that are like doxing others aren't doing it through a VPN. They just make a burner Twitter account and then they post it, and no one's going to come after them for it. Law enforcement doesn't care.
So honestly, I think the only answer is making it so we have to have two-factor on everything, but then
Yeah.
you're able to create, burner cell phone
No, like I said,
numbers
you
and
can't
burner
make it without
emails. And
identity verification. Like we already have the ID me for the government. Just link ID me to everything, and then yeah, sure. Just don't. If you're not doing bad, you got nothing to worry about.
honestly, I don't disagree. I don't disagree because I think honestly, it's part of the answer.
Yeah,
And
the internet's a luxury. If you want access to it, you got to play nice.
Like I have a fake account that sits there and posts random fucking shit about me and posts fucking illegal shit and paid content and everything else. They don't say haha parody in fucking quotes. They say they're me and they're verified.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Doesn't
the
mean like
fuck does that work?
all the systems are broken. That's why I'm
Like,
like,
oh,
okay,
you
we lost the ability. Like we cannot handle this responsibility.
like the fact that it does not say parody really kind of frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're legitimately parading as me.
Well, that's
If it
more
said haha
shitification. We outsourced all the support to Indians, and they don't care,
if
even
you
though it's
said
like this
haha
violates
parody,
TOS.
if it said haha parody and didn't violate TOS in that way, I would not have as much of a
Parody
fucking
shouldn't be
argument.
protected at all either. I don't think that should be something that's ever been allowed. That's
No,
not
but
free
if
speech.
if that's the basis of like the argument of oh haha parody needs to be available, okay, then it should openly fucking say it. Not just be a wordplay on what the fuck the account should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the New York Post should not have one named the New York Toast and they fucking post the same exact shit with slightly different links and all of a sudden, they're getting ad rev. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid. It should say parody in it openly in the fucking title. Is this account parody? Yes or no? Are you actually the fucking person or account holder of the ownership of this company? If the answer is no, it should absolutely fucking say parody. Oh, we have to check that. Yes, you should have to check it. Let's just go back to MySpace. It was more fun. Boys, we will see you next time. Verlis, thank you, buddy, for coming on. I know
Mm-hmm.
we recorded this early and you're probably exhausted, but we'll see you
Well,
fucking next
I
time.
just don't have any idea on like what's going on with topics. Where I'm just like, yeah, all this anything with Kanye or anything again, entertainment industry. That's too stupid to talk about. Xbox leaks. Xbox is dying. I don't care. There's nothing to care about.
It's hard. So like, I don't know if it's just my tism. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I
Like,
don't like if like the whole time I'm thinking like, man, this is a topic no one wants to listen to, no one cares about. And we're here for 20 minutes. It's like fuck,
and
it's
it's
over.
like I so everybody's energy on this fucking platform is fake. Let me just call this out as a fucking whole. You think anybody genuinely gives a fuck about Kanye? You think anybody does? You think
Then
anybody
why are
should?
we talking about it? Is my point. Why are we spending 15 minutes wasting everyone's attention span? And
I wasn't.
we need to actually like make good, productive, interesting discussion, and we're
No,
wasting it.
no, the thing is everybody wants to fake their fucking energy and emotion about it. And genuinely, I think that's fucking stupid. And honestly, a lot of the content creators, if they were honest about their feelings about things, would be a fucking lie and you would lose half of your fucking audience. And that's why they don't fucking say it. But as a whole, that's the fucking problem, guys, is you're being fucking lied to. Everybody's fucking lying to you. You think anybody genuinely gives a fuck about H3H3 with his tics and his fucking Tourette syndrome? Or you
Mm-hmm.
think anybody gives a fuck about iDubbbz? He was cool at this point, but like he's not cool now. Like, why the fuck does that drastically get views right now? Why is following trends the answer? It's
Well,
fucking
that's the
stupid.
malicious algorithms that have cooked everyone out. That's it's about creating a parasocial relationship and then turning people into NPCs, and now they have to defend every idea or every opinion they've ever had, like their life depends on it, because that's how social media has conditioned people. That's why I think talking about any of this shit's stupid because of that. It's all fake.
Yeah. But like, it's hard because my feelings about it, like Hassan's a piece of shit. Let me just fucking say that. Like me thinking he's a piece of shit or Frogan's a piece of shit is not fucking fake. But like people crying because somebody says something is fucking fake. Or you have extreme mental illness and you probably need help.
Oh yeah, that's terminally online. Yeah.
So guys, we'll see you fucking next time. See you fucking later. Bye.
Mm-hmm.